Is it a case of calming down a bit?
For me?
Everybody.
Oh, we've got a game in 2 days. So we need to move on pretty quick. Obviously, there's been a big week, big few weeks really, with some things within the ABC. You want to fix that, or you're right? It's been a big few weeks, no doubt. So, and it's been a big week this week in particular. But there's a game to play in a few days. So we're on a plane in 3 hours. So we need to reflect on all that. But we've got a game to win.
Who comes in for Gaff?
Well, we're working through that. We don't want to give the team too early, but I've got a few options with Ainsworth, Chi, Sheed. It's and then there's some players who are in the side who can play that role as well. It'll be a different looking midfield without Andrew. We've had him for so long. I think he missed a few weeks when he got knocked out last year, it might have been. But other than that, he's played a lot of games with us. So we've got to find a different way.
So, how's it been for the players focusing, media's been a bit over the top.
Yeah.
So, how's it been for the playing group, you think?
I think the immediate reaction this week has been, obviously after the incident and after the tribunal, it's been probably a bit of concern for Andrew Gaff. Obviously the Brayshaws and Andrew and his family has been the number one priority for everyone. But as we start to move on, and Fremantle will look after the Brayshaws, and we've spoken quite a lot to the Brayshaw family, but we need to probably start working on Andrew Gaff now and getting through this. He's not the victim, but there's some stuff we've got to work through now with him, and so I think our players' immediate concerns after it's all settled down now is to make sure he's feeling loved from us and put our arm around him as much as we can. So when he comes back to the club next week, we'll do that and work through how we're going to finish off the year without him.
Do you think they can focus on football this Saturday?
Well, they've been through a bit this year, our boys, and managed to stay on task. So that's our challenge. There's plenty of resolve within the club. There's a really good sense of unity amongst our players. So that's been there from the start of pre-season. I think the spirit's been really strong. I think it's won us some games this year, so I can't see why that wouldn't change.
Do you give Gaffy a role in the coach's box or anything like that?
It's a bit early to tell on that one. Yeah, we've got to get him back first and have a chat.
In the short term, does something like this have a galvanising effect on the rest of the player group?
Like I said, we've been through a little bit this year. I won't be using it as motivation or anything like that. It's not really something you use as motivation. So the inner sanctum's pretty tight though. So it's more from a coaching point of view, getting on with things from selection standpoint, and then our players getting on with their jobs as well. So that's where that's at.
Dom Sheed was a regular, and now he's not quite a regular. Can you share as much as you can as to why that's occurred?
We don't play as many mids, so we've got a different looking makeup of our side. Have all year, and it's been declared from the start. I think it declared it pre-season. So the squeeze was on, so someone was going to miss out. So Dom's been the one so far this year. He's had a few opportunities. Some he's taken, some he hasn't. So if he plays this weekend, it'll be another opportunity.
And what about someone like Ainsworth? What's his progress like?
Well, he's a first-year player, so this time of year it does get challenging. But he seems to be holding on really well. His form's reasonably good, so he's definitely in the mix as well. So he's 18.
Brendan Archie seems like he's been playing that half-forward role, which is probably more of an inside mid.
Yeah.
So is this a chance potentially if he does play to push him into that preferred position?
Yeah, if he plays, there'll be another. Obviously, there needs to be some slight change. Like without Nick, we've been changing a few things here and there with how we do things, and now without Andrew, maybe a bit less because he's not a key position player. But there's definitely some opportunity for our mids that they're really keen to have a look at.
Is Liam Duggan ready to take on a bigger midfield role potentially?
Maybe, yeah. We got him over as a mid, and he's a bit like Jets. They've sort of settled quite well down back, and we think our back 6 or 7 been pretty consistent this year, been a pretty good unit. So do we mess with that is something we're working through with match committee. But I think long term, Duggo will end up probably playing midfield.
Can you talk about how important this game is this weekend in setting up your run into finals and building confidence within the group?
Yeah, well, it's once again this weekend of footy. There's a lot of season-defining games, isn't there? So ours, we want top 4. We want to have a crack at that. So and preferably top 2. So for us to do that, we need to knock over Port, and for Port to finish top 4 and top two, they need to knock us over. So I think there's a few games like that this week, which that's why we exist for these type of games. So we're looking forward to it.
You've got an amazing record at Adelaide Oval, 6 of 8 wins there. What do you put that down to?
Oh, good coaching. No, I think the players, probably the ground size with a little bit of, the Subi ground being similar size, I think that probably suits our players. It's not a long flight. I don't know, once in Adelaide Oval open, it seems to be a really good ground for us to play at. They've been pretty close games though. I think on average they've been under 2 goals in each game. So I don't think we'll be using that as it doesn't really mean anything history. We've had lots of games this year where we haven't beaten Hawthorn for how many years in Melbourne and Collingwood, and so we're not really using that as a motivation.
How much do you look back to the final last year and how much do you reflect on that? And what a great
Yeah, we've played Port twice since that final. So we played them in a pre-season game. We've played them here. So no, we've probably moved on from that. I mean, every time we go to Adelaide Oval, there's good memories, which is, you can't say that about every ground. So we enjoy the hotel, we enjoy the Oval. I wish I could say we enjoy that every week, but it just seems to be a good vibe when we go there.
What do they do well, Port Adelaide?
Well, at their best, they're obviously as good as anyone, really, with the talent they've brought in this year. Obviously, they're on a bit of a mission themselves. They're pretty tough, hard contested football team, and they've got some real high-end talent as well. So, and on their day, they're as good as anyone, like I said. So we're fully aware of their strengths. It's going to be a bit of a battle.
Well, Schofield out too. I mean, shouldn't be underestimated. It was going all right, wasn't he? Because I don't think a lot of people expect him to be a key player down back some stage during the year. Obviously not great. Is Barris an obvious move back there?
Well, we had to do that 15 minutes into the game on the weekend with Will not playing. He's been so resilient for the club. He quite often he's been caught on the fringe with our selection, and that's been frustrating for him, which he's told me about on numerous occasions. And to his credit, this year he's just worked really hard to own his spot. Unfortunately, he's going to miss a few weeks with a hamstring, and it's not a great time of the year to do that. But even still, he's out there today around the players, and he's a real leader amongst the players.
When you talk about players on the fringe, and we go back to what Duff mentioned in regards to Dom Sheed and all that sort of stuff, he's probably not a fringe player as per se, but in your makeup he is. Can you talk about what it takes to be that type of player mentally, probably, in regards to those guys who are always on the edge waiting for their chance, what it takes to be then?
Yeah, well, it's important with our group that we stay united in that. I mean, every player goes through periods like that, and some guys at the back end of the career, some are 18 or 19, and you can't fit everyone in. You'd like to have 30 players to pick from every week, so there's always going to be some that miss out. And look, I think for the most part, our players handle it with real class. There's obviously we're on our own mission ourselves, and to not be part of it week to week is frustrating for some, but they handle it really well, and they go back at East Perth, and I never see anyone get too frustrated the fact they're not playing seniors. But I know what it's like, and we're trying our best to make that environment as comfortable as we can, but they've got to earn their spot.
What do you think the chances are of JK playing for the finals?
Well, we're good. Yeah, they're good. Yeah, well, he might not. He's not going to play this week, and I think he'll be on the track on Monday. So we'll see how he goes for next week. But we've just been a little bit more cautious than we were last time.
And what sort of player do you expect to come back? Because he's been really banged up this year. What do you think his level of performance?
He's class. He's class. He just do what he does. He'll be right.
In terms of running and he's really good work ethic.
Yeah, no, he'll be okay. Yeah, if he's playing, you'll see the same JK.
Simo, do you want Gaffy to keep training and sort of helping the group out on the track when he does come back?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, it's really difficult to do that when your season's over. So we'll get him back next week. I think he's back after the weekend, and sit down and work through how all that looks for him and his family and the boys and what he wants to do, and we'll do our best to take care of him.
He obviously sets an example out there, though. So
yeah, he's a doer. Yeah, he leads by example, and obviously he's made a terrible mistake, which we accept the penalty, and he does as well. He's shown nothing but remorse. So the next step for him is to get back here and work his way through it. So we haven't worked it out yet.
We
and
try
the
and
flag without Gaff and that.
Yeah, those conversations yeah, of course we think we can is the answer, but that's not. We're in this. There's a squad mentality amongst our players. I think every club's the same. So every club has injuries, and we've got a couple of injuries and a couple of, one big suspension which we've got to deal with. So the answer is yes.
How do you replace what he brings? And like 30 touches, he's a link man, he's good for goals.
Yep.
Doesn't waste the ball.
No, I know that. He's a pretty good player. I get that. Look, we've got to find different ways. Like, how do we replace Josh Kennedy? How do we replace Nick Natanui? It's been it's a challenge, but we've got roles for everyone, and they'll do it differently. So I think we can still win without those players. Ideally, we'd love them in the side. Of course, we would, but it's a good challenge for us, and the boys are up for it.
Are you reluctant to move someone like a Lewis Jetta? He's been so good at half-back this year.
Sorry.
And he seems like obviously an obvious choice, potentially go up to a million or something like that. Are you reluctant to move him? Or?
I am, yeah. Yeah, I think we found his spot. Yeah, Jets. There's been some ups and downs with him and some criticism externally, and he's dealt with some things himself, but I think this year's been one of his better years for us, definitely. I'm not sure for his career, but I'm really pleased with his leadership too around the Indigenous boys. It's been really important, and his leadership on field's been really good. We're really pleased.
Some gas-free agency, obviously that's going to be a talking point the next few weeks. Are you expecting an earlier answer now that he's got time to think about it? I'm not sure how it's going to work now that he's not going to play. He'll have more time to think about it, so we'd love him to stay, so he knows that. But, could have an impact? I don't know. I haven't spoken to him, so he's going to be okay though. Like it's like I said, he's not the victim, but it's rattled him and all of us. So he'll be okay. We'll work through it, but it's early stages yet.
Statement came through in regards to Tony Alongo. You're the coach, and he's not in your team, but he's in your squad. He's a rookie. Yeah. Do you need this as well? Distraction?
Well, we've known about it since just after the draft, so this is not news to us. It's just been an amazing coincidence that's come out today. So, but that's okay. That's for the courts at the moment. I can't comment on that. I literally cannot comment on that one. So, but we've known about that, and the AFL's known about that since just after November.
What do you do with him now? Does it, the fact that it's out there now, does it change?
No, nothing different. We're still supporting and working our way through it with him. So I think he did his hamstring on the weekend, so he's not playing at the moment. So we won't change the way we treat him.
Most people didn't really know about Tony Alongo for the casual Eagles fan. Can you briefly speak about the character of Tony? Yeah,
look, he's a first-year player. The incident was up in Darwin, so he's coming from a long way back. He's a ruckman, competes really well, but he hasn't really had a good look at anything yet in terms of his AFL future. So been injury prone this year, but he's a light-bodied ruckman, so they take time to develop.
Does it change the way you would look at him in terms of his place on the list?
Look, I don't think it's the right to comment on him at the moment. I think we should let that one go.
Can I ask you personally, and you're probably going to put the club spin on it, and I respect that, but can I ask you, have you been disappointed with this week, the way it's been handled by a whole range of people?
Disappointed in who?
Just the way, whether it be the clubs, whether it be the media, the public.
You've got to be a bit more specific. Give me one of those three.
You're saying, are you disappointed in me?
In you?
Channel 7.
Channel 7?
Nothing to do. Just in general terms.
I can't speak in generals, mate.
You'd be across the emotion of the incident between two WA clubs.
Yeah.
You'd be aware of that?
Yeah. I'm sort of... What's your question?
Well, it's pretty spiteful. I'm asking you, are you...
Between who?
The public. Your fans, Fremantle fans...
Look, I'm not quite sure what you're asking, but we've got a game in 2 days, so we don't treat. It's not a Fremantle West Coast thing for us at the moment. We're dealing with Port, so it's Thursday. We just don't have time to reflect on those things. I know, and our supporters and the city and the rivalry. That's fantastic, but at the moment, my focus really is on Port Adelaide, and that's where it's at.
You're looking forward to getting on the plane?
I'm just the same as I was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it's business as usual for us. We haven't changed who we are and how we go about things. So we're fully united, and committed to this season. So, yeah, we've got games to win.